Warning: the following video contains depictions of high-priced groceries in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and is based on my own first-person experiences and Reddit anecdotes. Viewer discretion is advised. On November 2nd, 2025, I was shopping at the Walmart on Empress Street in St. James. In the produce section, I saw a sign advertising 312-gram containers of blueberries from Peru for $4.94. I picked up a container, intent on adding it to my real-life shopping cart, when I noticed that the sticker upon the container identified its weight as 277 grams. They were still blueberries, they were still from Peru, but they were not 312 grams. Believing I selected an incorrect product, I looked at the rest of the selection, and indeed they each matched the one in my hand. There were no 312-gram containers of blueberries at all. I compared the UPC code on the container to the one on the sign, and they were indeed different. Accepting this as a minor clerical error, I trod down to a downtrodden Walmart employee and informed them that the signage was inaccurate. I also inquired as to the cost of the 277-gram container. After all, 277 grams is less than 312 grams, so the price should be less than $4.94. They used their handheld device to look up the price and informed me that it was around $6. I noped right out and watched as they removed the digital price sign from the display. I assumed they were going to update the sign with the correct product and resume shopping. Several minutes later, I wandered back to produce and decided to see if the sign had been corrected. Much to my annoyance, I found that the sign had been put right back where it was before with no changes at all. At that point, I took a photo and sent it to a couple of buddies of mine to complain about the laziness of the employee. I then left it at that and continued to live my so-called life. That was until November 27th, when fate and an empty cupboard found me once again shopping at Walmart. This time I was at the Unicity location. Imagine my Pikachu shocked face when I came across the exact same situation as I had encountered on November 2nd at a completely different Walmart. This time the sign advertising the produce was again for 312-gram blueberries from Peru, but the price was now $3.84. And again, there were only 277-gram containers as far as the eye could see. There was no sign for 277-gram containers, so I took one to one of those check the price in-store scanners and saw that it was for around $7. Suddenly, this seemed less of an honest mistake, but more like an interstore orchestrated, show a low price for a similar product that doesn't actually exist and hope the customer doesn't notice at checkout that they're paying almost double the price for less sort of scheme. I took another photo and showed them to my wife, who suggested I make a post in the Winnipeg subreddit about it to warn others, which I did. The responses were initially attacks on me for shopping at Walmart that fell into one of two camps, either complaining about me supporting American billionaires instead of Canadian billionaires, or victim blaming me as being what I deserved for shopping there. One person dusted off the old gem that if I were unhappy, I should just start up my own grocery store chain to compete with them, as if that was an option for anyone not born to multimillionaires. I instantly regretted making the post. Over the next few days, however, more people replied. Some very kind people came to my defense in that times are tough and you shop where you can afford, hence me being in a Walmart. A couple of people actually got into a lengthy argument about boycotting the three main grocery providers in Canada. Several people brought up the scanning code of practice, which is a voluntary industry code of conduct where if a sign shows a lower price for a product than what it is scanned at the till, the lower price will be honored. And indeed, Walmart Canada is a participant. But I don't believe it applies here. The signs I saw were not for the products behind them. The weights were different and the UPC codes were different. Me trying to argue that I should get the lower price would be similar to me putting a box of General Mills Cheerios in the Great Value Honey Nut Toasted Oats section and arguing that I should pay the lower price because of the sign. I did have one person DM me who clearly worked at Walmart and informed me that it must be a customer error or worst case a minor clerical error due to the rapid rotation of products in the produce aisles. But the fact that it happened at two different Walmarts at two different times bugged me. And even more interesting were replies to my post that reported the exact same situation at the Walmart on Kenaston and the Walmart in Selkirk, Manitoba, 30 minutes north of Winnipeg. Now, I don't have the time, energy, or gasoline to go and verify these claims, but assuming those people weren't lying on the internet for attention, this looks a lot more like a deliberate and scammy trick to offload expensive blueberries to people who might be too busy to notice the discrepancy at the shelf or at the till. I've seen lots of other less than ethical tricks, whether it's the well-documented shrinkflation or situations where they have a sale on a 1 kilogram item for $5, but then the regularly priced 500 gram size is only $2.25. But this was the first time I've seen this. I have a pretty rigid shopping list that doesn't vary much from week to week, so this has been the only product I've seen this occur with. So what do you think? Is it corporate malfeasance disguised as simple mistakes? Is it just incompetence across several stores in at least 2 cities? Have you seen this happen with other products? Let me know in the comments below. I really appreciate them, and I take the time to read all of them. Before I go, I want to thank everyone who has liked my videos and subscribed to my little channel of randomness. Despite being bogged down with life and basement renovations these past 6 months, I've reached over 3,000 subscribers, which helps motivate me to get my office space finished so I can start producing videos at a rapid pace again. In the meantime, if you'd like to support the channel beyond liking and subscribing, you can get a copy of my sci-fi novel Holocene, a story of a woman whose husband disappears while hiking in northern Manitoba and who sets out to solve the mystery when his cell phone briefly pings her from Rome 2 weeks later. I also finally have some merchandise up for sale associated with my channel, so if you'd like to wear a snappy programmer t-shirt like my avatar or want products with my own personal artwork and humor on it, please check it out. Links in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the future.